Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and today I want to talk a little bit about a world that's always changing, but never as much as people think. Because the world's always evolving, it's always changing, but never as much as people think because it also repeats itself. There's all these moral panics. There's always claims that, oh, the world is falling apart. It wasn't like this in the past. Please. Please. Things were going on. You're just not paying attention to the world. You hadn't been paying attention, and so you assumed that, oh, this time back then was so much better. There was no evil. There was no crime. Please. You go back and you examine history and you find out there was a lot of fucking evil. A lot of fucking corruption. And it annoys me that people seem to want to act like, oh, this never happened in my time. When you grew up, there was shit going on as well. There was. You need to get the fuck over it if you think there wasn't. Because let me tell you something. I study history. I wanted to be someone who taught history. I wouldn't have mind to actually, be a historian if I didn't get to teach history and never completed my time in college. But you look at history, there's always some disgusting thing that goes on. And yet, we act like, oh, the past was so much better, so much simpler. It might have been simpler, but it wasn't necessarily better. I was born in 1980. But before I was born, we have the Vietnam War, the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy. We have the civil rights movement because there is so much blatant racism. And as we go further back in history, there's even more corruption. And, still talking about before I was born, Son of Sam, John Hinckley Jr. I think that was who it was that killed Lennon. But yeah, people act like, oh, today is so evil, so horrible, nothing like what I... Bullshit. Bullshit. Evil and corruption and all these things have always been around. It's just if you're willing to open your eyes and look at them. Take those eyeballs, open them up, look around, and see the world for what it is. There are things always going around you if you look. But some people don't want to pay attention to this. They're like, it's just far worse than it's ever been. Motherfucker. Shut your goddamn pie hole for a fucking minute. Look around you. Look at your history. The world has always been in turmoil. Has always had evils. It's just how much you're willing to stand up to those type of things. You cannot sit there and proclaim one era is greater than the other simply because I remember it so. Memories are a highly faulty thing, motherfucker. I'm sorry if you don't like the language I'm using, but this kind of shit right here has pissed me off. And so I am going to use this language. Because some of y'all need to fucking hear it. You've closed your goddamn eyes and ears. It's see no evil and hear no evil, but you damn well leave your mouth open so you can talk bullshit. You know, there has always been these issues. Always been these troubles. That don't mean you give up on things. It's what should drive you to be a better person and want to make the world a better place. And that don't necessarily mean, oh, I gotta teach God to all these people. Religion don't make things better. Often in cases, it's made things much worse. What you do is you go and you help your fellow human beings. You teach your fellow human beings. That is how things should be. But instead, it's whining and disparaging that we see. One thing I've been seeing over and over is this comedy segment. You know, this generation don't know how to write in cursive, don't know how to read cursive. They don't know how to write out checks. Well, hell, why don't we go, this generation don't know how to use ringer washers. They don't know how to ride a horse or shoe a horse. Oh, God. Seriously. The world is ever evolving. But the assholery is something that's always been there. As much as you don't want to admit it, it has. It always has. You look at movies in the late 1970s and through the early 80s, and they portrayed New York City in the future as this dystopian land, this horrid, wretched place of evil and sin, and the landscape is decimated. You go tell me now that that's what New York looks like. Things change, people. You know, in the 1990s, there was this fear of, oh, the horrible thugs that come up, you know, all the murders and evils that are being committed, because they feared they was going to grow, that they called young people super predators, because they just saw things getting worse. It didn't end up that way. Eventually, crime did go down. But they ignored the things that led up to it. God. Oh. But you always hear this cry, this outpouring of, oh, things are so much horrible. So much more horrible than when I was a young person. Things used to be happy with rainbows and clovers and blue moons. Wait a minute, that's Lucky Charms. Fields of flowers, and we rode on colorful horses, and everybody smiled. Motherfucker. That was not how things happened. Am I going to say everything has been a downhill slide? No, because it hasn't. There's a lot of things that went up the fucking hill, because they've got better. But, like other points in history, there are horrible things that happen. And we must take observance of these things and realize why they are happening and prevent them from happening again. But so many people don't want to take those preventive steps because they don't agree that, oh, this is what's causing it. Oh, this is what caused it. No, this is what caused it. Oh, this is what caused it. Oh, fuck. And we're going to keep repeating this bullshit. Because there are too many people unwilling to observe the facts and say, you know what, this actually did kind of lead to this. No. For them, it's, I don't give a damn what you think. It's what I'm told is what caused it, and that's not what it is. But, yeah, I just wanted to vent for a bit, because people are stupid. And it gets on my fucking nerves. Anyway, as always, educate thyself, think, read, study, learn. Someone tries to tell you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, later.